Hey guys, I don't know whether to rant, to cry, or to celebrate. As you know, I've been looking at a lot of stuff for Cyrax recently, and the more I find with such little lab time, the more I feel like this character has not been looked at properly. It feels like the general consensus for the character is what does maximum damage, puts a bomb on the floor, even if it doesn't guarantee any follow up, and then that's done and dusted. Why? Why is this accepted? Why? How can we have any idea of whether Cyrax is tournament viable when the players that play him don't do the work or they just drop him? They drop him. Why? I don't know. Not everything's been found for him. And every time I touch the lab, within 30 minutes I found something new. Something that answers the questions that people say, oh, this is why Cyrax isn't good. And I don't know whether to share this with people because it feels like I was a member of the Johnny Cage community and they were called the biggest down players on TYM for so long and they still are. And I would sit down in the lab with Cage for ages, but you had players there committed, and there was stuff that they were finding that I couldn't find. Yeah, I was doing more of the optimal stuff with him that some people weren't, but the stuff was out there, it was known. But with Cyrax, unless you're looking for max damage combos which don't lead to any setups, which is what the character is about, nobody wants to know. And I don't blame the players that play Cyrax right now. The players that keep on playing him now, they're doing what they can. I'm talking about the people that just drop Cyrax. They just don't care. He's not good. Leave him. There's nothing guaranteed in the corner. There's stuff to get out mid-screen. I mean, you even hear stuff from the people that still play him, like, yeah, he's not good because you can block his hard to block stuff. Yes, you can block Sub-Zero's overhead in the corner, but it doesn't mean the character's bad. You're still challenging the opponent with the block, and it doesn't. It just angers me so much, and I don't. I'm just at an impasse of it. I feel like I want to rage like Brady right now because he has been so wrongly misplaced, and it's most. I don't know whether it's just because people didn't know. But I'm telling you now, if people had the dedication, like you'd see with other characters or in other games, one of the ones I want to point out is, for instance, look at Nimble Reptile and how far he's come along with people finding these conversions. Look at Demolition Sonya. Whoever found out all the tech with him with the input things, it was probably luck. But it made a character that was sort of average, one of the best characters in the game. Nerf worthy. Ethereal isn't good, and then you watch Semij play it, and he's just so good with it. He's just so fluid. These characters that people write off as not incredible, not the best ones, when really they've just not been explored enough. And I hope this video can bring some inspiration to people to say, no, you haven't found everything. There's stuff here that we're not even trying, we're not doing, and this character is something that should not be slept on. So the first thing I'm going to address is the age-old problem of Cyrax doesn't get anything guaranteed in the corner. And this is absolutely correct unless you change the ender on his combo. So what I'm going to show you now, which I shouldn't be showing really, but I'll show it anyway for those players that still play him and love him. So this is what you would typically see. I'm not going to do maximum damage. You could probably get about 29-30% there, but I'm not going to mess about doing optimum damage. I'm not good enough. This is the ender you get. The problem with Cyrax ending any single string into bomb in his current state is that if the opponent is set to tech roll, even a wake up attack, maybe they'll do a down poke, just anything at all. There's nothing guaranteed off of it, and this is absolutely spot on correct. The gravity is such that the best you're gonna get guaranteed is you'll get like a low poke to keep him there. As soon as you initiate that low poke onto the opponent, there's not really a setup. You might get a grab and the bomb launches, then you're spending a bar. That's not a good character, is it? And this is the like where all the arguments come up for Cyrax. You know, he's not good. He can't do that. But why didn't people think? Why didn't people think, well, how do I get damage with Cyrax in the corner and still guarantee that I get a hard to blockable situation? Which if they tech roll or backdash, they will eat the hard one, which is the low, low overhead low. Which, yes, it's blockable, but I wouldn't put my money on somebody blocking it every single time, and it's safe. It's still hard to block. You know, I mean, just because it is blockable doesn't mean that somebody's going to block it every single time. It's madness. I mean, it's not even a gimmick. The only way with this setup that I've got now, they can get out of this is if they armor, which is how the game should be, because if they couldn't even armor, then it would be nerfed. It would be hot fixed instantly because it's just stupid and the amount of wine would be ridiculous. Or if they delayed wake up. And in both those instances, in the corner with this setup, if they armor, most characters will get launched by the bomb. And if they don't get launched by the bomb, you will be plus because of the explosion. This didn't take much thought to find this. I'd like to say I'm some kind of genius, but it's just not true. And I just hope that this can make people think a little bit more outside the box to come up with this stuff. And if somebody turns around and goes, "Oh, this is old. This isn't even new," why have I never seen it before? And why do I watch some of the top players like Mustard and Scars end a combo in like this, do this, and then do the low poke because they know that Ketchup's gonna tech roll out of it, jump out, poke out, mash out. They would know. These are top players. Why don't they know? Why haven't they been told? I don't know. So I'm going to show you now because I'm not going to mess about with it. This is obviously it's been quite a negative video. I do apologise, but I do find it quite frustrating that I'm trying to bring all this tech to the forefront and most of it's kind of ignored because people aren't interested in Cyrax. And that's fine. They don't have to be interested, but don't dismiss the tech because the character's not strong. Because the tech makes the character strong. And I'm really hoping that we have a big surge of Cyrax players that come through because this makes Cyrax's corner game super strong now. It's gone from I've heard players go, Cyrax's corner game isn't good. He can't get anything guaranteed. Well, not with the stuff we're doing now, no. Why don't you just change how you do the combo? So I mean, this is why every single time I watch Kesher and Mustard, and I have to point these out because these are the only people who in the community actually represent these characters and actually do the lab work and check everything. They roll their eyes. Oh, unescapable, guaranteed 100% reset. It is eye rolling. It's funny and I laugh because it's right. But when I try to do the lab work and I've checked all the options as best that I can, I'm happy for somebody to post this video and go, oh, you're wrong here, Pongster. This is not right. This is how they get out. If you can show me that, then hold my hands up. I'll go off. Thanks for letting me know. I thought this was good. And if it's not good, it's not good. But from what I've tested, and I've tested all the possible wake-up options, The only way that they can get out of this is if they armor, which is, expected, or if they do a hard knockdown, they get the easy overhead low bomb. If you've conditioned your opponent or your opponent's aware of this and they think, oh, I'm just going to block, look, picture Cyber Sub-Zero, okay? Oh, that's how it works with them, yeah. You just take you do a delayed wake up in the corner, then you do overhead low. But then there's enough hit advantage on this setup for you to then do, if they're always going to do that, a dash forward and time a back one to launch them with a nice hard blockable. Or maybe you can even dash forward sweep. You can dash forward block and you'll still block their wake up, then the bomb will launch them if they try to armor, as long as the armor's not got too crazy active frames. So what I'm trying to get at here is a character doesn't have to be completely brain dead, ridiculous setups, guaranteed launching hard to blockables back into hard to blockables like he was before he got patched, which is when everybody moaned about him and he was a dumb character, to be viable. Sector, Smoke, all these top characters, they've got great pressure and good tools in the neutral, but they don't have, absolutely mad setups that Cyrax has. And I'm just going to play the video now because I babbled on long enough. So here I'm going to do a setup, and with this setup, his only option is to armor out, or he still has to block if I do this. Back 3 down 4, and then if I'm against a good player, I'll probably make it safe with the up 4 as well. Then maybe check him with a down 1. And there's 2 different enders to this as well. Because if you're thinking that this is an easy read for the opponent, even though there's not much they can do about it because I've got the hit advantage, there's 2 different setups. From this situation here, I can either do close bomb, the low bomb, and then do back 3 down 4. And this leaves me at a situation where I can back 3 meaty pretty much every single time. And the only way out is to armor. And at that point, you can either bait it or, that's just what happens. Or you can do forward 3-4 by doing a close bomb and doing it quite quickly, and then doing the same setup, and you will end up further away from your opponent. And with this, you can do maybe a dash up, back 1. You can do, and this is with close bomb or mid bomb, because with the second setup, the forward 3-4, you can do either option, the close bomb or the mid bomb, and they'll both launch because the mid bomb still stays in the corner. Not tested it on every map, so don't take that as gospel. But the applications for that one are, let's say you're playing against Liu Kang and he's got his Dragon's Fist and he wants to wake up with it. You do the second one, the forward 3-4, you do a late NJP into the close bomb and he wakes up with Dragon Arm and you block it and the bomb launches him. He's fully punished. No more safe armor for him. And there might be other characters where that applies. I don't know how far Predator pushes you back or anything like that. We all know Sector has always had this wake up problem. But he's never had to deal with the problem because he could just wake up with a tech roll every single time Cyrax touched him, and he's away. And I'm just going to finish this one. I think this is the back 3 down 4 version. So a late neutral jump punch here. I'm still going to net myself 35%. I do believe this combo would probably net you about optimally 37 to 40% maybe, but it would have the worst bomb setup in the world and you've lost all your pressure. You have enough time there so that if the opponent wakes up with any buttons that isn't block or hard knockdown or armor, they are definitely getting the hard block will put on them. If they decide to tech roll backdash, doesn't matter who they are, any character, they can't do it, that you actually hit them with the back 3 down 4 during the backdash. There's no way of getting out of it. You either spend a bar, and in some cases some characters can be punished for spending a bar. I'll have to look more into that, but the option's there. Or they do the hard knockdown, they wait for the overhead and then they try and block the overhead low. And then at that point you can still kind of adjust your back 3 time if you know they're going to do that to still sort of make it hard to block. It's not as good as the back 1, but it's still there for the mind games. You can still run up throw them. you know, to launch them if you're happy to spend an extra bar. The, the, the options are all there. And as you can see here, I just want to show Sector at this point in this starts on 80% health, guys. He starts on 80%. You know, and I've not optimized there. I'm sure you could probably squeeze a couple more percentages points out. How is this not a strong character? How is it not strong? And I'll argue with anyone that says his neutral's bad because thank God. Scar played Semiji's Ethereal, and Semij might not have much Cyrax experience, and he only had one game, but Scar dropped every single time he touched him. But he still enforced excellent staggers with 2-1, with 1-1. He still caught him, but he dropped his setup. He went for the hard combos. I'm not gonna have it anymore. The forward 4-3 stuff. You know, the double that into 1-1-4 into bomb. There's a very few players that can nail that every single time. There are other combos that are far easier to do now and still lead to the same setup. It's just not an excuse now. I've just done there because Sector didn't have Breaker almost 80% of his life. His only option there in the real world is to wake up with armor, but if I'd just blocked, he'd have got launched. I didn't have to go for that option. Imagine that, you're against a Cyrax player in the corner. You now can't just tech roll poke out of the bomb setup anymore, which is what it was, because it wasn't threatening before. And I will agree with every single person who says Cyrax wasn't that great. I still think he was mid-tier, maybe mid-low, because of this reason. Because every single time you did a setup, the opponent could just sort of escape. It's not like with Sonya Demolition where she could throw the grenade and just use the immense active frames so that if they did anything, she could just explode it or do an you know, an unblockable into it. The threat there, you know, that was it. But it's here now. This is it. This is crazy. And just to show more, see, this is why I didn't want to do this. I'll just show the 4-3-4. I've messed it up, haven't I? And as you can see there, it doesn't matter if you do the close bomb or the mid bomb behind them, they will still launch off that. So there's no, which is a big weakness of Cyrax, and I have to agree. There's no, how do I say? With a lot of his setups, there can be like a visual trigger. You can see, oh, he's done far bomb. He's going for the forward 3 setup. You know, there's none of that with this. Both bombs launch if you choose to do the forward 3-4 option, and you can cover yourself with the close bomb just in case there is a character with a little bit of an advanced forward wake up. Now this doesn't apply to slide characters, but if they're going to slide, you can block and fully punish anyway. So that's not an option. I'm talking strictly safe armor here, and I hope that's clear. Because people don't get that. It's the uppercut tech angered me the most. There were some people that have embraced it and they understand how potent it is. It's ridiculous. If the opponent tries to armor because they're scared or they feel they have to, you end the round on the spot. Even with safe armor. Not many characters can do that. No way. Most characters have to block safe armor and just eat whatever pressure comes after it or reset the neutral. Cyrax can actually combat it, and I don't know if you actually know, because anybody that might be against that, there is no way of avoiding the uppercut. Tech roll armor won't stop it. Tech roll block doesn't stop it, because if you do a run up into the uppercut, you're safe. And because you're doing close bomb, mid bomb, if you do the run up and they do a hard knockdown, the bomb will explode if they try and wake up and press buttons on you to punish the uppercut. And if they block it, they block the uppercut. And this is why it's so important to watch my videos. If they block the uppercut, it's 6% chip. You can do either a jumping punch into back 3, down 4, up 3, for some more chip, which is about 10%. We're at A-list levels of chip here. And the only way to get out of that setup is if they've got a super fast reversal like a slide, or and they time it perfectly in between bomb blasts, or they armor out. The more I play this character and the more I lab it, the stronger he is. I am not a good player. I played one of the strongest characters before this patch. He was nuts. He was ridiculous, and I couldn't do well with him. So I'm not going to do well. Doesn't matter how good he is. But I'm hoping that the players that are good, they do have like really good spacing in the neutral. They are on point with the combos and their setups. They can take this stuff and they can actually give him some tournament representation. Because at the moment I feel like this character will go down in MKXL history as being bad, and it is just not the case. And I'll end on a different note because we were looking at the forward 1-3 forward 3 tech to stopping people from tech roll backdashing out or delayed wake up, and I came up with a forward 1-3 to solve that, because the problem with forward 3 is if they just tech roll and don't block, they get out. And that's obviously not a good situation for either player. Can you see? And although the forward, like, this is what I was trying to get at in my video, I've reposted the video anyway, but just in case somebody didn't get it, the forward 1-3 combated that. It covered hard knockdown, delayed wake up. It covered all the opponent's options on wake up. The only thing they could do to get out of that specific setup is to armor out or just block, and they would just take chip. They couldn't tech roll out anymore, you know. So this is another thing. So when I present to the Cyrax community a way of saying, hey guys, I've found something here which is a weakness of forward 3. It covers all the bases of forward 3. It does everything that forward 3 does. The only character it doesn't work on is Triborg, so continue to use forward 3 on him because it's still a fantastic move. It's not even big news. They're not bothered because they've already written the character off. It's not good. But I know there's certain players that play Cyrax that know he's actually secretly really good. And there's some people now that I know that have played against a good Cyrax player and thought, Jesus Christ, why is this character why is he ranked so low on the tier list? It makes no sense. But I wanted to add to the forward 1-3 just to show that his options haven't all been discovered, because they haven't. We've got Cyrax here on Wake Up Backdash, not Sector, sorry. So if I was to knock him down, he goes a mile away. Let's say I've done a combo and I've managed to land him into this state, and I want to do a cheeky reset, but I need to condition my opponent. I need to make him afraid to do the tech roll backdash wake up option. And forward 3 is good, but it doesn't cover all the bases. And forward 1-3 is good as well, but forward 1-3 isn't a mix-up. It's not a hard to blockable. So if they block, there's nothing exciting about it. So what do I do? Well, if you're really good at Cyrax and your timing's spot on with a late NJP into a mid bomb, even a Triborg cannot escape, and you actually punish tech roll backdash. It's hit confirmable, so that if they do a delayed wake up, you don't have to add the 2-4 onto the end, because you can see while you're inputting the button whether they're going to delayed wake up or not. And if they delayed wake up and you think they're just going to block it, you just go for the 2-4, and it's a super tight low overhead that they have to block on wake up. And I'll show it you now if I can. They can't get out of that. They can't get out of this reset. And I can hear the cries of downplay everywhere. This isn't good. What can they do? No, they can't. They can armor out, but you can armor out of anything. I can block the armor if I wanted. I don't have to commit to that back one. Let's see it again. I'm not going to do it perfectly this time because I just want to. I'm not going to do this perfectly because I just want to show for the sake of demonstration. After the dash forward, you're completely safe. You're in the opponent's face. They're on the floor. There's a bomb beneath them. If they choose to sit there blocking, you can throw them. You can do the back one overhead low hard to blockable. You can sweep and convert off all three. If they do delayed wake up, you can go back one into back three, and I'll show that now actually while you're here, because why not? Because it saves you from having a look at it in the lab. Can you see that? I noticed he'd stayed down, and I still did and I was able to just press 2-4 way after I pressed back one, and keep myself safe. Let's just have another example. Let's say the opponent is just blocking, and I've conditioned them now. They know they can't escape. I can do the overhead, low overhead. Good luck blocking that. And then the big payoff is when they've finally been completely conditioned, as you'd say now. They know they can't take roll back dash out. The delayed wake up's not even working for them. It's a really tough block and they're struggling. And here's where the payoff comes in for the Cyrax player. This is where the cheeky reset works. You can do an overhead low. You can just get so this is essentially, I'm giving you the hit advantage now that you used to have when you used to recapture people into nets. Why was it super awesome to do 20% with Cyrax, put a bomb beneath the feet, relaunch them back into 20% again? Why was that absolutely broken OP, but me doing, say, a 16% or a 17% reset back into the same situation, conditioning my opponent so they know they can't get out? Why is that bad? I've covered all the bases on the hardest character to catch mid-screen. It's going to be difficult to implement into your game plan. I'm going to struggle. I found it, and I probably won't use it in games for a long time because it's difficult for me to do that. I'm not very good. But it's there. You can now go for a cheeky reset. And anyone that says the hard to blockable is easy to block, well, it's not that easy. I mean, I could even do this one if I want. This is a free net, by the way, after a bomb launch. If you didn't know. That's literally the hit advantage you get from a net. %19 there, not too bad. I'm going to land this now, because that's really annoyed me. And look at the damage. Cyrax has his problems. He doesn't have the best neutral. He finds it difficult to open the opponent up. But by God is he good. He's really good. He is a touch of death monster. And it's about time people see him that way. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Sorry about the ranting, but it needed to be said. Have a good day.